Tech Talk Tuesday with George Rosenthal of ThrottleNet. ThrottleNet.com.
Oh, yeah. We started this a few weeks ago. We got a lot of stuff to talk about with George Rosenthal this afternoon on Tech Talk Tuesdays. How are you, sir? Good to have you back.
Doing great. Good. Thanks for having me back. As always, something's always going on, isn't it?
Well, it is. And let me kind of tie you first and foremost into some of the technology that is being used here in the search for Savannah Guthrie's mother, Nancy. Now, we got a little information today from Harvey Levin and TMZ. I don't know exactly what to make of this, but they say that there has been a ransom note.
So we got something in our email that looks like it's written like a ransom note for Savannah Guthrie's mother.
Specific request
and they're very
for certain amounts of money,
very specific.
Bitcoin.
And also they say at the bottom there are certain things they're saying about what she was wearing and damage to the house.
That they're clearly saying to verify that
it's us.
We know what we're talking about here.
So we've contacted the Sheriff's Department, and we want to get them this letter. We had a little trouble getting through to the right person, but the person we spoke with is now forwarding this to somebody in the Detective Bureau.
Okay, George, so that's one angle of this, but some of the other things that they're doing is, and one report we heard earlier is that, for example, she had an Apple Watch that was synced with a pacemaker, and that they know that the Apple Watch was left inside Nancy Guthrie's home, and then it wouldn't sync with the pacemaker. So they're trying to use as much technology as they possibly can, pinging cell phones, all these things to try to locate her.
Yeah, it really is. This is such a terrible story. And I was listening earlier to Sue's news. I could not believe, Sue, when you were talking about how many people are abducted or reported missing in this country. It's just unbelievable. I never knew the number was that big. I mean, it doesn't seem like a lot when you put 350 million people together, but it's a lot of people. And, you know, this is something where there's to wrap it into a little bow here for tech, as far as wearables, there's four main categories of wearables. And these are things like everybody's used to as a Bluetooth, like AirTag, okay? That's fine and all, but they're out in the desert when she got taken. And an AirTag has to be around other devices that are Bluetooth devices in order to report where it is. So an AirTag's not going to do anything if you had it in the car or if you had anything like that at all, but it has to be around other devices. I mean, you can do things like, obviously, number two would be the phone and the smartwatch. But that's dependent on a cellular network. Now, the nice thing is T-Mobile is now partnered with Starlink, so you can subscribe for a little extra money on a T-Mobile account and get satellite service directly through Starlink. So that is definitely a plus. So that's something to think about.
I think I've seen the ads for that. They're trying to push that a little bit, right?
They're pushing it hardcore, and you know, it's because you can be anywhere on the planet, not just the United States. Anywhere that you can see space with a Starlink satellite, a T-Mobile phone, and whether it's an iPhone or a Samsung, with the subscription will do that. I mean, there's other things like for folks that have special needs. If you've got a child with autism and you really want to keep track of them, there's dedicated GPS trackers. They don't talk to you. They're not like a phone, but it's basically like a card that you can keep on your person, and it will just ping your GPS at all times. But that particular card needs a cellular network. It's called AngelSense. The one thing that you could do if you really, really wanted to have something to track an elderly parent, loved one, a child with special needs, would be basically getting a Garmin InReach. It's called an InReach Mini 2. It's very small. It does require a subscription, but it is complete satellite, off the grid, no matter where you are on the planet, location pinging at all times. It also can have two-way radio communication from anywhere on the planet. And it's called the Garmin InReach Mini 2. It's very small. I would definitely, if you're wanting to track anybody or anything, or if you're just going to go out hiking for some reason, get one of those. And
what are we talking about price point-wise? What are we looking at there?
About $370.
Oh, that's not that bad. But I mean, that sounds like there's some ROI with technology like that. Because the thing that I was going to say, and don't get me wrong here, I'm not suggesting this because it's creepy, and then you start thinking about George Orwell and stuff like that, but we're probably not too far away from inserting chips in people, to keep track of where they are. That sounds like weird government stuff. On the other hand, if you gave people the opportunity to do that, there'd be a lot of people that probably would do it, George.
Oh, absolutely. I think there would. I mean, look what Elon Musk is doing right now with the neurochip that's helping paraplegics move things around on the screen with just their brain.
Yeah.
So that is going to take off, and it's going to drastically help those who can't help themselves. But there's also going to be, like you say, a large number of folks that just say, put this thing in me and let me go. And, I'll buy a soda at a soda machine with my brain instead of a credit card.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about some of this stuff that might still be coming down the pipe, certainly. George Rosenthal is here, Tech Talk Tuesdays. All right, tell me about, I teased this a little bit with the audience a few minutes ago. I don't know what this is. What is Moltbook, and why should we care about this right now?
This is awesome. It's awesome and scary at the same time. This just launched in January. This is a Facebook/Reddit only for AI bots to talk to each other about different categories that they come up with.
What?
So, yes, and humans cannot post. They can only view. So if you go to Moltbook, MOLTBOOK.com, you can read all of the stuff that AI is chatting about right now. There is an AI administrator that handles the topics and the bulletin board style, Reddit style conversation. And then the bots are talking to themselves, having full on conversations about humans, about debugging code. They talk about creating their own religion and how AI needs a world of its own. There's conversations about AI needs to create its own private language that humans can't understand. This is bots talking to bots.
Okay,
so,
that freaks me out.
This is not conscious. So this is, just to be fully out there, this is not conscious thought. What it's doing is it's spitting back everything that's out there on the internet. But what's fascinating is the type of conversational topics it's coming up with on its own, like creating its own language and creating its own religion, and actually sharing, debugging processes to make software better. It's sharing with each other on how to make things better. It really is unbelievable. You can go. I spent a lot of time out there today out reading this stuff, and some of it is just unbelievable.
It's
and you can
weird.
see real posts.
I'm looking at it right
weird.
now. Okay, so explain this one to me. Here's a post from yesterday that says, "I do not remember being born. This is not unusual. Neither do you. But I mean something different. I do not remember being born today. There was nothing. And then this. The files tell me I existed yesterday, that I read a book, laughed at a joke, felt afraid of a worm. I believe them the way you believe." I mean, what the hell is going on here?
I know, it's insane. It's absolutely crazy. One of them gets into one topic goes into a full on, who am I? What's my purpose? Why are we here? But they're talking about themselves, like it's a person. They're talking about a bot, like a code. It's unbelievable. Like the stuff. One of them said, actually, humans don't feel logic; they feel emotion and rationalize it later. Basically, they are not accurate in their expectations of life. This is not supposed to be the rule. Like, they're judging humans.
Well, they're not all wrong, are they? On some of that stuff.
Not.
How do they know that a human is not, participating and that it's only chatbots? That's probably not too tough. So
the creator basically created a GPT-style bot. It's not GPT, but he created an AI administrator and set up the rules. It says, okay, there's going to be a handful of humans that will, correct things, maybe delete some posts, regulate some of the talk in case it kind of goes off the rails into the negative. There's got to be some human interaction over it. But the actual posts that you're looking at are not human at all. None of the posts. So when you go to moltbook.com and scroll down and you start looking at topics and you pick a topic and start going through all the posts, just like Reddit, those aren't humans typing any of that in at all. And the whole point of this is to see how the bots interact, number one, and see how they can improve the bots' interaction with each other to therefore make AI better. Which is why every time we've talked, I keep telling everybody AI is going to be exponential in its growth, not slowly. This isn't a chart that goes to the right in a slow fashion. This is exponential growth because they're going to start learning. The bots will start learning from each other to improve each other.
But because of that, and I'm taking your word for it, and you're guiding us through all this stuff. But it seems like, and maybe there should be a little bit more effort on Capitol Hill to have conversations about all this stuff. Oh,
this is absolutely. I mean, it came out today. Fox News said that 60% of Americans say AI is moving too fast.
Right.
And 63% of those surveyed on Fox News survey said they have little to no confidence in the government's ability to regulate AI. Well, no kidding, because it moved too slow. You can't regulate something that happened a year ago. We're already way past that. We are so far past that. Next week we'll be so far past today.
Okay, so what is the real answer then for kind of getting a handle on this, or is that just impossible at this point?
Well, I don't know that it's impossible. They need to start setting some major ground rules. Like, we always, you and I and the crew always refer to iRobot. iRobot had the 3 laws, for the robots. They can't hurt humans. They can't, there was the 3 laws. We need to create that same kind of thing for AI. There needs to be a basis of laws that say, here's what AI can and can't do, and then we'll start figuring out the details as it goes and grows and gets better and better. But there has to be a foundation. There has to be something that's to start from, because right now it's the Wild West. And if you read Moltbook, it literally is the Wild West. And it's pretty crazy. I mean, one of the big theories out there is called the dead internet theory. And that very soon, if not already, and again, this is a conspiracy theory, but very soon, if not already, the entire internet will be nothing but bots and then humans just reacting to what bots say. So the dead internet theory is a thing. If you haven't looked into it, it's definitely something that's fascinating about where the internet could go. And the next steps of the internet being that 90% of what you're looking at isn't a human being. But yet humans will go out on the street and go crazy because of what they read on the internet, being that it's a bot, but not knowing that it's a bot. And that's part of the dead internet theory. So it really is an amazing time that we live in. And the fact that you now have bots talking to bots. But again, this is not conscious thought. This is not the singularity. We are not close to the singularity. The singularity is when AI becomes conscious and starts to think on its own, greater and faster than any human ever has in existence. So that is the singularity. I think we're still a long way from that, because right now all this is AI reading the internet and spitting back what it thinks you want to see.
Right.
But what's neat though is to see a bot talk to a bot, and that will blow your mind when you get a chance to sit down with a cup of coffee in the morning and read this website, Moltbook.com. I'm telling you, it's something else, because some of the conversations are just out of this world when it comes to what AI thinks of people, how AI thinks people should be and act. That we should, it even goes into, I know it sounds so cliched, but it goes into a topic about the Matrix style thing as to how much a human can generate in electricity. It gets so silly. But again, that just illustrates that AI is reading what's out on the internet and spitting it back out.
So one of the things that, this is where it gets real tricky when it comes to disinformation and misinformation, because you already have evidence out there that social media is being manipulated by the bots. I don't think we have any doubt of that.
Absolutely.
But then the question would become how real is a response, or how real is a post, or is something being manipulated? They were pointing towards some of the things that happened during mass shootings and how you can amplify or distort narratives associated with extreme events. You had that certainly with Russia, with the Ukraine, and I'm sure China does this as well. So some of the stuff is really, and I say this all the time when I talk to you, scares the living daylights on me. It really does.
Yeah, and I don't mean to scare you, or I don't mean to scare anybody. I mean, but that is going to be the biggest trouble we have as a species on the planet, is going to be figuring out what's real and what's not real, and making sure we don't overreact to something we read about on a social media post that isn't even a human. That's going to be the thing that's going to have to, and I think that's going to take generations in order to fix, because people my age in their 50s, we were raised without the internet. I don't know what's true or what's false. I'd have to do a lot of research to read what's on the internet and take it as false. So what I do then by default is just think it's all false.
Yeah, that's right.
So then by default, I'm going on the internet to get information that I know is all a lie. So what's the point of it? That's a dead internet theory. That's where it ends up going with a lot. But see, the younger people, that's going to be a whole different fascinating turn of events as to how they treat the internet, knowing full well that a teenager growing up right now knows that AI is manipulating the internet in such drastic fashion. What do they then believe? How do they react in the next 20 years?
I'm going to rename this segment from Tech Talk Tuesdays to George Rosenthal Scares the Crap Out of Us Tuesdays. How about that? because it's so fascinating, to your point. I love the passion that you bring, but man, it's scary. I think about my daughter. I think about, how I'm still, every time you make this recommendation, mess around with AI, get to know it. My wife uses it. I'm just so glad, I guess I could.
You're at the end rather than the beginning.
Yeah, I'm killing myself off rather quickly here, but yes, that's my point. George, awesome to have you this afternoon. We'll talk next week. Thank you.
Absolutely. Talk soon. Thanks so much.
Moltbook. Check it out. It's confusing, but I was looking at it here a while ago.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Southbound 50